Gabriel Jesus has been named the Arsenal's transformer, or the Arsenal's all-time transformer under Mikel Arteta's era. And I think you all agree with me that this is really right. And the manager's going to obviously hint the nail on its top. Welcome to the Arsenal News Show. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. I know most of you are really asking me, Rokani, how are you feeling? Or most of you are really asking yourself how I'm really feeling after this loss to Brighton for a team of Man United. But that's the game of football. It sometimes has the high and lows, and you'll obviously have to agree with me that every journey has a high and low. But the most important bit of it is that you have to obviously know what to do and when to do it. And I believe Ten Hag is the right man for the job. But Arsenal is taking on a side called Everton, and they're paying them a visit at the Merseyside, and they're really ready to take on this team. And Mikel Arteta, towards this game, is going to hit to declare Gabriel Jesus as Arsenal's savior, or Arsenal's huge transformer. And obviously this is right. We're going to throw in some positivity coming in from Elneny, and lastly Gabriel Magalhaes, and what Mikel Arteta thinks about him towards this beautiful game of Everton versus Arsenal. So we thank God for the gift of life. It's a Sunday. I know some people are really going to church, others are not going to church. Pray from home. God will reward you accordingly. That is it. Now, after that, the Muslims, may Allah grant you all what you desire, and let's start it off on this beat. And here we go. And first and foremost, Arteta has gone ahead and obviously told us how Jesus changed Arsenal's world last season. Now, to be called a changer, you can as well be referred to as a transformer. That is Jesus. And it's only us who have gone ahead to see the impact of Arsenal from when Jesus came in through to where it is right now. And Arteta has told us that I think he brought a different energy, different belief, a different threat, a different fear to the opponent. He did it in a really natural way, and I think he contributed hugely for the step we had in the season. And this is where people don't get it right on Gabriel Jesus. You know, it's naive for everyone to call in for 20 goals from Gabriel Jesus. I don't know why people are so much old-fashioned into that mentality that you need to be having a striker who obviously scores 20 goals, because what Jesus gives you when there's a field of play, it's more than goals. I can relate it to players like Pirlo, Iniesta. Pirlo at AC Milan and Juventus and Italy, plus Iniesta at Barcelona and Spain. Those players never scored very many goals, but they could easily make the players around them better. That is what people are really underestimating and really underlooking, because you can't come out and underestimate the power. You cannot underestimate the power of Jesus and his influence at Arsenal. The manager was obviously, it was not the manager, it was Jesus that obviously broke this. That when he came in at Arsenal, their aim was to qualify for the Champions League last season. He told them, I'm not here to qualify for the Champions League. I'm here to go for the titles. And guess what? If it was not the injuries, maybe Arsenal would have gone ahead to clinch the title, you know? And that's what Mikel Arteta went ahead to obviously rehabilitate this summer by bringing in 4 players: David Raya, Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, and Julian Timber, you know? Because Jesus gave them a different plan altogether. They never believed, but he made them to believe. And those are people we call transformers in this land. And Jesus is a transformer at Arsenal. And trust me, the manager, Mikel Arteta, coming out and obviously saying it out loud, is not like he's undermining other players, but even the players know the influence of Gabriel Jesus. You know, I've already told you that a team has different leaders, and it's not only the captain, Odegaard, that really does this work. Even other players like Jesus lead this team through giving them the mentality and right track for them to thrive on, you know? And this is where I tell you that the hugest Arsenal signing ever under the era of Mikel Arteta is Gabriel Jesus. No one will ever match what this boy is giving in the team of Arsenal. I know people think about goals, and trust me, this season, if he keeps fit, trust me, he's going to get you those goals that you want. I think he's going to score 20 plus. He has just played not even a full match. In the game of Fulham, he came in through. He played, I think, some 9 minutes. In the game of Man United, he played like 15 minutes. That is it. And we wait and see whether today is going to start, because I believe he's going to start. And it's time to unleash him, because Arteta knows how important this player is. Bukayo Saka, most of the goals he scored and most of the games he looked better, he had Gabriel Jesus on the field of play, because Jesus creates space for Bukayo Saka to thrive, and his threat in the box helps the opponents focus more onto him and create space for Martinelli, Odegaard, and and Bukayo Saka, and that's what people are really underlooking. And then Arteta went ahead to assert more to the point he really had to say, and these were the words. He said on the importance of Jesus. When you look at the 6 months of him, all 7 months, and after the long-term injury that he had and the amount of football that he missed, then he came back in pre-season. He started to get the rhythm again. Then he had another injury, another surgery. So we have to build him up. He's a tremendous player, a really important player for us. He changed our world last season. You could all see that he's going to be really an important player for us. And him and Odegaard and Saliba have gone ahead to attain that untouchable bit in the team of Arsenal. And by the way, if you are naming the squad of Arsenal, they are players, or the starting 11 of Arsenal, they are players that are not even doubted about. Jesus, Saliba, Martin Odegaard, those are players that are really unquestionable, because they really give the spine of Arsenal. That is the spine of Arsenal. As I've told you, there are 5. Even Thomas Partey is among, and Zinchenko. That's the spine of Arsenal that obviously thrives. And that's why I told people that really slipped me about Man United. The spine of the team is really injured. When you look at Varane, Luke Shaw, those 2 players being absent obviously cost the team of Man United, and Sofiane Amrabat being injured, it cost the team of Man United. But we are here to talk about Arsenal, not Manchester United. So I really want to let people know that it's one of those important aspects to respect players that are going ahead to transform the club. And that mentality of Jesus that he brought in at Arsenal has gone ahead to take him where he is. And I think it's going to take him places. It's going to take him places, and it's taking his team places, because you need players of such a mentality to really attack a team like Man City, whose mentality has been set to win for a very, very long time. And when you look at such players, they are rare, but Arsenal found themselves getting in another player who is a winner. That is Declan Rice. Declan Rice is a player who has really a very huge heart, and if you add him the likes of Jesus, that means the intensity of Arsenal on the pitch has gone ahead to increase. They've gone ahead to add some busybodies in the midfield. Sorry about that. In the midfield of Arsenal, and obviously you anticipate that lots of positives are going to come up and really be taken to the next level. So that's it about Jesus. Arteta declares Jesus as Arsenal's biggest transformer in there for you. Now let's talk about Elneny and what Arteta had to say about Elneny. He's been training with us. He had a little niggle in his hamstring a few weeks ago, and he's back in training now. It's been a long-term injury, the last stages of the rehab right now, and then it's about building momentum and the game within him. So for me, for Elneny, I don't know what he's still doing at Arsenal, because he has no place at Arsenal, and he doesn't belong here. He doesn't belong at the club of Arsenal, and the club of Arsenal needs to be doing better. You have 3 central defense midfielders: Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, Jorginho, and Declan Rice, a player who is a record-breaking signing for Arsenal. enjoys himself playing as a CDM. That is it. Meaning that you are now having 4 players into the CDM, and who is last in that pecking order? It's Elneny. And I don't know when Elneny is going to get enough playing time, because in the Champions League, you don't expect him to start. When it comes to the Carabao Cup, the Jorginhos will be there. Sorry about that. When it comes to the FA Cup, that's when Jorginho is going to get enough playing time in there for you. So it obviously shows you what a role he's playing at Arsenal. He's just there to enjoy his money, and I think it's better Arsenal really let him go. And I ask myself, what was the intent of Mikel Arteta to obviously give him a new contract? Were they wanting to just sell him and get some money? I don't know, but I don't see his importance at Arsenal. He's one of those players that can pass that ball, knock it around. But if at all he's getting injured to that level, I think it's better Arsenal dispose him off when it comes to the January transfer window and really sell him off, because there is nothing he's going to offer. There is nothing he's going to offer. He's former manager at Arsenal, and that has Unai Emery wants him at Aston Villa, and Arsenal said no. But they would have gone ahead to get rid of him and see to it that he really leaves the club of Arsenal. Arsenal is really one of those clubs that no longer need players like Elneny. You know, how do you dare have 4 players playing the same position? Because next season, Arsenal might look weak in that position because Partey might leave or stay. But for me, I believe Jorginho and Elneny are leaving, meaning that Arsenal will have to obviously get in another CDM. And for Elneny, he has no position to play at Arsenal, and he should know it, that even to make it to the bench of Arsenal, it's going to be hard, because the bench of Arsenal is having players like Fabio Vieira, Jorginho, to Emily Smith-Rowe with Reece Nelson, put there Nketiah, put there Jakub Kivio, there is Tomiyasu, David Raya, and the 9th player is who? Because they just need to be having that amount of players, 9 on the bench. So Elneny cannot make it to the bench of Arsenal when you look at how things are really happening at Arsenal. And when Julian Timber really returns, it's obviously going to be a different case altogether for that side. So I don't see him really thriving anywhere. Even making to the bench is really hard. Now, Gabriel Magalhaes, Arteta had something to address about Gabriel Magalhaes, and it was all about him and whether he plays or not in this game of Everton. Arteta said, we had good contact with Brazil national team, and Gabi had a little issue, but then he managed to play the second game. So it's something that obviously for the next sequence of games we are going to have to be aware of. So for Gabriel Magalhaes, he had a knock when Brazil was playing, I think, Bolivia. Then against Peru, he came in through and obviously showed up his efforts, and he's really fit to obviously go in. But I think Arteta has to manage him better, especially in the midweek. When they're playing Everton, they need him because Everton is a physical team and they obviously run a lot, and so you need a player like him. But in the Champions League game against PSV, I think that's when you unleash Jakub Kivio and bench Gabriel Magalhaes for the game. But all these players are really Champions League thirsty. I don't know how he's going to do it, but they are Champions League thirsty. But I don't know how reserving is going to be. But Gabriel Magalhaes is not an injury-prone player. He's always available every time his team needs him, and has gone ahead to serve dual agency to the side of Arsenal. That's why people are so much surprised that for the first 3 games of the season that Arsenal played, Gabriel Magalhaes was not part of the starting 11, and he only came off the bench to make it into the team. But he's a very good player, and I've always called out for 2 things on him. He sometimes make a sloppy mistake when you least expect him to do it, and his passing from the back needs to be improved. So guys, your thoughts on Jesus declared as Arsenal's hugest transformer are welcome in the comment section below. Do you think Arteta is right or not? What do you make about Elneny? Should Arsenal keep him or sell him? And lastly, what comes to your mind when you hear that Gabriel Magalhaes is back? Should he start today or not? I cover it all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living true God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name. And my Muslim viewers and subscribers, Barak Lau Fikum. See you later. when you see me. Good morning, my mates.